So last year, our next guest spearheaded an investigation into something that she found online through her group, Lady Freethinker.
She discovered tons of videos showing animal cruelty, and they weren't on the darkest parts of the web. They were on platforms most of us use every day, places like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube. Between May and June of last year, Jackel and her team found more than 2,000 links with videos showing animals being abused. Monkey torture and animal fighting made up more than half of those links. 37% were fake rescues, 4% violent, graphic, and sexual content.
The new documentary, Cruelty for Clicks, explores not just these videos, but also the system that is supposed to prevent these things from being posted and staying there despite them being reported.
YouTube was seemingly not doing much about it, and I had no choice but to sue them. The media took notice, and for the first time, the public could see how rampant animal cruelty had become on mainstream social media.
There's no reason why an organization that is as wealthy and connected and technological can't monitor and remove illegal content.
We have a truck to Circle Meta showing videos from Facebook of animals being tortured.
Stomping on these clones is always going to be a group effort.
Jackel is the founder of Lady Freethinker, a nonprofit organization dedicated to exposing and stopping animal cruelty all around the world. She joins us now. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me and for covering this very important topic.
Important work that you're doing, and tell us where it all began.
Well, the scale, the prevalence, and the level of violence happening to animals on social media right now is astonishing. And not enough people know that this is happening. This is something that my team has been tracking for years. It really started to spike at the start of the pandemic, and since then has persisted. And the goal of the documentary, which was directed by Kirk Murray, is to raise awareness of this issue, show people what's happening online and what they can do to stop it. And not all animal cruelty is obvious. The worst, the most sadistic cruelty is clear to us all, but sometimes it's hidden, and it's very important that people understand what they're watching.
So you tackle an awful lot in this documentary. So what exactly is happening there? Just give us an example of some of the things that you found.
Yeah, absolutely. So the most prevalent type of cruelty is actually sadistic torture of baby monkeys. There's a sick market out there for it. It happens on the dark web. People purchase videos. It ends up on mainstream social media as a result. That's the most insidious form. But we also have fake rescue videos that really take advantage of compassionate people. And in these videos, animals are intentionally put in danger. They might be tied to railroad tracks or buried in mud or sometimes hung from a tree with tape or put in these precarious situations so the supposed hero can come in and save them. But it's all staged. It's not always obvious that it's staged, although if you look for telltale signs, like simply doing a Google search for that organization to see if you can find out if they're legitimate, it's a very easy way to pick them out. But they do prey on people, and there's so many different types of animal cruelty that people really need to know about, and that was why this documentary was really necessary.
So the argument here is if you see one of these videos, you click on it, you forward it to somebody else, or you post it on your own personal social media account, you're actually furthering the profit for some of these people, right?
Exactly. So you might be very tempted to leave a comment, even out of anger, or to share it with your friends, or even to leave a sad emoji, but every interaction that you make, whether positive or negative, tells that algorithm that, hey, people are interested in this, and then they will show that video to more people, and you could help it actually go viral.
You see these instances of animal cruelty, and they're legitimate, right? But it tugs on the heartstrings, and of course people are compassionate out there and they want to help. But how do they know if it's this nefarious video or someone who's really the person that's responsible for the animal cruelty and not someone that's just trying to rescue an animal?
Exactly. So other than researching the organization, you can look at their account as a whole. Are they posting nothing but video after video of animals in these really unusual situations but don't show recovery over time? that's a huge red flag. You want to see that aftermath, see that animal healing, so you know that they've actually been helped and not hurt.
Unfortunately, when it comes to social media and the internet, anger is like the #1 driver of people getting more clicks and things going viral. So what's the onus on these social media companies like Meta?
Well, social media companies are absolutely accountable for the harms that are created through their products, right? So it is up to them ultimately to do something. And we have seen progress. We have seen social media companies start to take action. My organization has been working with Meta to help identify and remove this content. But ultimately, we want them to prevent it from being posted in the first place. So we don't have to flag it. We don't have to point it out. It just shouldn't exist there at all.
It's so sad when it comes to these cases of animal cruelty, because we don't even see it in social media, but we see it in the public whenever an animal is abused, and often a city or an government entity will try to step in, but they're really not going to do much because they consider these animals property. They don't really necessarily take into account the lives and the sadistic nature of the person who's committing this. So that's got to be tough to try to bring the onus on these social media companies to actually do something about it.
It's extremely tough to get real action for animals because they are still seen as lesser. But the reality is that their suffering is very, very real. And just because something is in a video does not make that suffering less real to the animals. And anybody should care, even if you don't care about animals, people who hurt animals are far more likely to harm humans as well. So we should all care about this issue.
So when you see these videos making the rounds, is there any way to track down who's responsible for the actual abuse?
Sometimes there is, sometimes it's extremely hard. And my team does work to track down abusers. I'm very grateful to say there have been more than 30 arrests for monkey torture participants in the United States and around the world. My team has worked with law enforcement on some of those cases. So there are repercussions, and in some cases it is possible, but I will say the majority of the time it's extremely difficult. So
and I imagine when money is involved and they see that there's people out there who will click and people out there who will spend the money on it, that it doesn't end. So as soon as you have these arrests, you probably have new types of animal abuse that you probably are finding out there that are popping up today.
Yeah, when there is a market for an industry and animal abuse can be an industry, it is that much harder to stop. But it's not impossible. And each of us can do something about it by reporting these videos when we see them, reporting them to the social media platforms, reporting them to law enforcement when we know the location. We actually have a hotline, reportposts.org. Please send my organization animal cruelty.
Reportpost.org.
Reportposts.org. And my team tracks these every day. We will log it, we will add it to our database, and we will get it to relevant authorities when we can.
And where can we find your documentary?
Cruelty for Clicks is premiering at the Chinese Theater on September 12th as part of the Indiewood Film Festival. We're making our film festival run now, and then stay tuned for more ways to watch later.
All right, Nina, thank you.
Thank you
so much. And for more information, also to see how you could help, just go to ladyfreethinker.org. We'll be right back.
Oh, no,
Thank you. I threw a lot of information out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah, you did. It's a document that delves into a lot.